Hey guys, my name is Caitlin, and today we're going to talk about the homeschool curriculum picks for my kids for 2022-2023 school year. So if you've watched my videos in past years about my homeschool curriculum picks, a lot of the things are the same or very similar, but I do have a couple of new things for this year that I wanted to show you. So for background, in case you have not seen my previous videos, I am a homeschool mom of 4. Only my 2 oldest are currently homeschooled. The other 2 are too young, but I have a child who is 8, so going into what would be considered 3rd grade if he was in the school system, and a child that is 6 and going into what would be considered 1st grade. So and then I have 2 smaller ones. And this will be our 4th year homeschooling. We're going into our 4th year of homeschool, which is crazy. Like, it just goes so fast. But here we are. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you what curriculum we'll be using this upcoming year, what our plans are. If you watched my last year's video, my youngest was born in June of last year. And so when we started the school year at the end of July, it was my first year teaching 2 kids at once, because my second child was starting kindergarten, and it was the first time I was homeschooling with a newborn. And so last year I kept it very chill. We did basically just the bare bones and then added in things as we felt like it, but we didn't add in a whole lot of extra curriculum that wasn't required. And actually it ended up being much easier than I expected overall, but also just really loved having that real simple structure to our homeschool. And so this year I'm going to kind of follow that same thing, adding in a few other things, but still basically keeping it pretty simple. All right, so as with past years, we are still doing classical conversations. We'll be entering our 4th year, which, if you're familiar with CC, it goes through a 3-year cycle. So we will be going back and starting our cycles over again, and hitting a cycle for the 2nd time around. So that's exciting. We'll be able to kind of dive deeper into that material, expand on that. But we do classical conversations. We love our community. We love getting to meet with them, and that provides us with art and with science experiments and with kind of like a guideline of what to learn or what to expand on for history and for science and that kind of stuff. So we are continuing with classical conversations. I have lots of other videos about CC specifically that you can check out if you're interested in that. Then for our math, we are still continuing with RightStart Math. We love it. My 1st grader will be doing level B, and my 3rd grader will be doing level D. So they will be diving right into those, and we've used RightStart since the very beginning, since my oldest started kindergarten. Absolutely love that curriculum. I've got reviews about that, and all the levels that I've currently or up to now have taught. So if you wanted to see any of those, I've got videos about those. But that's our math for this year. Our language arts, we are continuing with logic of English. So my 1st grader will be doing Foundation C, and so he'll be moving into that. So he did A and B last year for kindergarten, and that's what my oldest did as well. And then my oldest took a year for C, and so I'm anticipating C will take us the whole year this year. So if not, we'll move on into D, but I think this will probably take up the majority of the year. So he'll be doing that. Now my oldest, he has finished Logic of English Foundations, A, B, C, and D. And then for those who are familiar with classical conversations, when kids are 9, 4th grade-ish, they start what's called essentials in classical conversations. So Logic of English has foundations and essentials. Classical conversation also has foundations and essentials. They are not related, they just happen to be the same names. Anyway, so this year right now, he has finished Logic of English Foundations, and he still has a year before he starts CC Essentials, which is their language arts program. And so for that year in between, we're going to continue with Logic of English and start with their Essentials program. I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do with that, but I didn't know, like, should we try a different program for that gap year for that years until we start CC Essentials. But a lot of people that do CC and do Logic of English said that Logic of English Essentials is a great foundation. I'm using these same words in all these different contexts. It's a great foundation for CC Essentials. So all that to say, for this year, we're going to start on Logic of English Essentials. Now, the way their Essentials works is each book is 7 units, and the units take like quite a while, like couple weeks to get through from what I understand. And I think there's 4 different books. And so you work through them. And then if you were going to just keep going through Logic of English Essentials, you actually start back at units 1 through 7 again, but they have more in-depth information. So I don't know that we'll get to do that repeating, because after this year, he'll move to CC Essentials unless something crazy changes. So anyway, all that to say, I bought the first book, which is units 1 through 7. We're going to start working through this. I have no idea if we will get to move on to books, like to the next book that starts with unit 8, or how long this is going to take us. We may do more, more units through this year before he starts Essentials next year. We may not. I'm not sure. I don't know how long this is going to take. Everyone kind of has different pacing, obviously, based on their own child. So anyway, that is our plan, is to start with Logic of English Essentials. Of course, like I do with all the curriculum we use, once we get to the end of it or enough through it that I feel like I can do a good review, I will do a review for you guys and share my thoughts and what it looks like and all that kind of stuff. But right now I have not even opened the book yet. I've just been sitting in a box on my desk. And so anyway, but I'm excited to go through this. I've heard that, if your child struggles with spelling, this is kind of where they really start to work on those skills more. And that's good, because he is an excellent reader, but spelling is kind of what we're working on a lot. So hopefully that will help him with that. So anyway, so those 3 things, that's all we did last year. That's all we really have to do in order to kind of get what's the bare bones and all that kind of stuff. So past that, we have used a history curriculum in the past. We've used Knotgrass and we liked that a lot. However, last year when I was just doing the minimum amount to try to keep things simple, we did a ton of read alouds, which I loved. And we did a lot of historical fiction read alouds because my boys are very much into history. So this year when I was trying to decide what I want to do as far as history, I decided I want to just keep going with doing that kind of read aloud history type thing. So we're not doing a set curriculum. We may dive back into that next year or something, because Knotgrass has another curriculum I would like to use. There's some others that look really great. So anyway, all that to say, I have this book called Story of the World, which if you are a CC parent, you're probably familiar with this because this is very popular in CC. I have not read it yet, and I have no idea if we're gonna like it, but I bought a used copy from another family here locally, and I thought we'll just give it a try. So this is volume 2, The Middle Ages, which lines up with cycle 2. So I'm just gonna start reading it with my kids, and we'll see if we like it, and if we don't, we'll ditch it and go to something else. We're currently reading the Little House on the Prairie series. So we're just gonna continue just reading kind of some historical fiction. And then of course my kids love nonfiction. We have tons of Usborne books that are related to history and non-Usborne books. And so we kind of just piece together all that kind of stuff. There are some small unit studies that I've found, Gather Around Homeschool has one that I thought my kids would be interested in because it's about wars and they love all things related to history and war. So we're just going to kind of take it a little bit at a time, and as things strike our fancy, we have the Tuttle Twins series, which is all about government, and we have not gone through that yet together. So I'm just going to kind of take it a couple weeks at a time, and we'll just do whatever we're interested in at that moment. So no set history curriculum. The same with science. We've never used a science curriculum. Between what they learn at CC and their science experiments at CC, they're getting quite a bit of exposure. And then we have lots of books, mostly Usborne books, but other books too, that kind of line up with the science curriculum. And I've ordered some more for this year. So, or not science curriculum, but the science from CC for that cycle. And so that's just what we're going to continue doing, is just using those books as supplements and not adding in anything specific. And then the last thing, which I'm really excited about, this is really the only new thing for this year, is our Bible. So we have used a Bible curriculum called Shaping Hearts for God. I think that's what it's called, Shaping Hearts. I think it's Shaping Hearts for God. Anyway, shapinghearts.com, I believe, is the website. But anyway, We've used that for several years. That is what our church uses in my kids' classes. And so they have worked through those workbooks at church, and then the teachers send them home at the end of the quarter. And so we just turn around and go back through them again in our homeschool and read through those passages and that kind of stuff. And that has been fine. It's been nothing earth shattering or anything, but it just, kind of helped us at least give us some structure to our Bible. But we have now gone through all the books that Shaping Hearts has for this age, I do believe, and I just was ready for something different. So I have been hearing for years about this Bible curriculum called Bible Study Guide for All Ages. And honestly, I've looked at it several times, and the website was confusing, and I could not figure out what I needed to order. And I just didn't, I was not in the space to take the time to sit down and really figure it out. But I've heard it is amazing and really, really helps kids with their Bible knowledge. And so I wanted to give it a try. So I finally sat down and took my time to try to read through the posts or on the website and watch some videos that they have and figure out what we need. So anyway, all that to say, we are doing this Bible study guide for all ages. So it is mostly, they have worksheets that you can print off for your kids, which I have not printed those yet. They're just digital downloads. But what I do have to show you are these Bible summary cards. So this is part of the curriculum, is that they have these cards that summarize every book of the Bible, and the kids learn throughout the curriculum what are the major topics of the books of the Bible. And they have a CD or an MP3 that you can download that has music that helps to learn various Bible facts, which it's very classical in nature. If you are a CC parent like I am, which I know a lot of the people that follow me on this channel are CC parents, it kind of falls in line with that, as far as there's lots of memorization and there's songs to use to memorize the things, and they continue to learn these facts and that kind of stuff. So it appeals to me and the type of schooling that we do. So anyway, I will absolutely do a video kind of sharing what do you actually need, because the website can be very confusing, mainly because they have a lot of churches who use this in their church classes, and then of course homeschoolers, and so they have a lot of options, and some of it is appropriate for church setting and not so much a homeschool, that kind of thing. So anyway, it takes some time to figure out what do you need. But what I like a lot about it is that everybody does the same thing, the same topic at the same time. So you, let's say you're on lesson 12, you will have different worksheets for your different age children based on their abilities, but they're all covering the same topic. And so it's definitely a one-room schoolhouse type feel, which is what I like to do with all of our subjects, except the ones that they have to be separated on, math and language arts. Everything else I do one-room schoolhouse style in our family so far. And so I like that with this, there's worksheets even that my almost 4-year-old will be able to do, and my 6-year-old and my 8-year-old, and they'll all have them appropriate for their levels and their reading level, that kind of stuff, but it'll all cover the same topic. So we'll do the same story or section of the Bible as a family, but they'll each have their own little individual worksheets they can do that's for their level. And then we'll be working on learning, about the books of the Bible and more about those. So anyway, I'm very, very excited about it. From everyone who uses it loves it. So I think once I get into it and have actually put it into practice for a while and know more about how it's structured, I think I'll really, really love it. So I'm very excited, and we'll absolutely do a video for you guys later with my thoughts and with, kind of what we're using and that kind of stuff. But that's really the only new curriculum that we are adding in, is a different Bible curriculum for us this year. Everything else is staying pretty much the same, and then we're going to just take it kind of do an interest-based type thing as we come across science topics or history topics through CC, or not even through CC, just in general, that the kids are interested in. We'll kind of rabbit trail into those and pull. I know that The Good and the Beautiful has some science unit studies that can line up with cycle 2, and I'm sure that there are others too, because cycle 2 is like space. There's a lot about space, that kind of stuff. So anyway, as we get through the year, I may pull in some other small curriculum options like that. But for starting out, we're just starting off pretty simple with what we used, in the past years, and adding in this new Bible curriculum, and then we'll build from there. So anyway, I hope that was helpful as you're picking out your curriculum for this coming year. Like I said, I've got reviews for everything that I've used in the past years. So all the Logic of English levels that we've used so far, all the RightStart Math that we've used so far, classical conversations, all that stuff has reviews that you can check out on my channel if you want to learn more about any of those particular curriculums. And then these other things like Logic of English Essentials and Bible Study Guide for all ages. As we get through those, I'll do reviews and share more about those later. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Have a great day. Bye, guys.